Hey everyone, today I want to hit pause on all the noise and talk about something that truly matters, you. We spend so much of our lives stressing, overthinking, and picking ourselves apart that we forget the most important person in the room, the one person who's been with you through every high and every low. And guess what? That person deserves your love and your kindness. You've been hustling, grinding, and carrying the weight of the world on your shoulder. But here's the truth. Worrying about everything you can't control, it's draining the life out of you. It's time to drop the baggage, silence that inner critic, and flip the script. The world will always throw chaos your way, but if you can learn to truly love yourself right here, right now, you'll unlock a kind of power that makes everything else seem small. Today we're diving into what it really means to have your own back, to champion yourself without hesitation, to finally put your energy where it belongs, into building yourself up instead of tearing yourself down. So if you're ready to turn the volume down on fear and crank up the love and courage, let's get into it. Self-love is not just a feel-good concept. It's the foundation of everything. It's about recognizing your worth without needing anyone else's validation. When you genuinely love yourself, you give yourself permission to be flawed, to make mistakes, and to grow from them. It's about looking in the mirror and accepting the person staring back at you, not just on the days when you feel like you have it all together, but especially on the days when you feel like everything is falling apart. Self-love is understanding that you are deserving of kindness, forgiveness, and patience, especially from yourself. It's about speaking to yourself the way you would speak to a friend who's struggling. It's being able to sit with yourself and feel at peace, knowing that your value is not attached to your achievements, your productivity, or anyone else's opinion of you. More than that, self-love is an action. It's choosing to show up for yourself even when it's hard. It's setting boundaries that protect your peace. It's making decisions that support your well-being rather than sabotage it. It's choosing to nourish your body, your mind, and your spirit because you genuinely care about your own happiness and health. But self-love doesn't happen overnight. It's a daily commitment. It's learning to turn down the volume of negativity and turn up the voice that cheers you on. Because when you truly love yourself, you build unshakable resilience. You become your own advocate, your own motivator, your own biggest supporter. And that's the kind of power that no external circumstance can ever take away. Letting go of worry is about releasing the mental clutter that keeps you trapped in a cycle of fear and anxiety. Worry is a thief. It robs you of your time, your peace of mind, and your ability to experience life fully. And the truth is, most of the things you worry about never even happen. Yet, you spend so much energy imagining worst-case scenarios that you exhaust yourself before you've even begun to face the real challenges. But here's the thing. Worrying feels like doing something. It feels like you're preparing, controlling, or protecting yourself from whatever might go wrong. In reality, all it does is drain your energy and leave you feeling overwhelmed. Worry is the ultimate distraction. It pulls your attention away from what you can do right now and places it on everything that could go wrong. Letting go of worry doesn't mean ignoring your responsibilities or pretending problems don't exist. It means acknowledging that while you can't control everything, you can control how you respond. It's about making the conscious decision to release what's outside of your control and focus on what you can actually change. It starts with recognizing the difference between preparation and rumination. Preparation is proactive. It's making plans, taking action, and moving forward. Rumination, on the other hand, is like sitting in a rocking chair. You're moving, but you're not getting anywhere. Letting go of worry means stepping off that rocking chair and putting your energy towards something productive. Embracing imperfection doesn't mean settling for less or giving up on growth. It means recognizing that progress is far more valuable than perfection. It means understanding that mistakes and setbacks are not proof of your inadequacy. They're proof that you're trying, learning, and evolving. Life is messy, growth is messy, and that's okay. When you embrace imperfection, you allow yourself to show up as you are, without the constant pressure to be flawless. You start to realize that the most powerful, creative, and authentic version of yourself exists not in your polished, perfect moments, but in your willingness to show up despite your imperfections. This mindset shift allows you to approach life with more curiosity and less judgment. Instead of seeing mistakes as failures, you see them as opportunities to learn and improve. Instead of hiding your flaws, you acknowledge them and choose to grow from them. And instead of tying your worth to external achievements, you find it within yourself. Embracing imperfection also means allowing yourself to be vulnerable, to admit when you don't have all the answers, to reach out for help when you need it, to accept that you're a work in progress, and that's perfectly okay. When you let go of perfectionism, you free yourself from the constant pressure of trying to measure up to unrealistic standards. You stop waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect skill set, or the perfect version of yourself before taking action. Instead, you give yourself permission to move forward as you are, knowing that growth and fulfillment come from the journey, not the destination. And most importantly, embracing imperfection makes room for self-compassion. It allows you to be kinder to yourself when things don't go as planned. It reminds you that you're human, and being human means being imperfect, but it also means being resilient, adaptable, and capable of growth. Shifting your focus to growth is about changing the way you view challenges, setbacks, and even your own abilities. Too often, people get stuck in a fixed mindset, believing their talents, intelligence, and potential are carved in stone. This mindset convinces you that if you're not naturally good at something, you'll never be good. It makes you fear failure because every mistake feels like a reflection of your limitations rather than an opportunity to improve. But embracing a growth mindset changes everything. It's the belief that your abilities can be developed through dedication, effort, and learning. It's understanding that every experience, good or bad, has something valuable to teach you. When you shift your focus to growth, you start measuring progress instead of perfection. You celebrate effort, resilience, and the willingness to keep going even when things are tough. This mindset shift isn't just about being more positive. It's about transforming the way you approach life itself. Challenges are no longer roadblocks, they're stepping stones. Failures are not signs of inadequacy, they're feedback that guides you toward improvement. And every time you push yourself to try something new or overcome a difficulty, you're literally training your brain to become stronger and more capable. Focusing on growth also means being patient with yourself. Real growth doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual process built from small steps, consistent effort, and the courage to keep moving forward despite setbacks. It's understanding that progress often looks messy and imperfect, but that doesn't make it any less meaningful. When you adopt a growth-focused mindset, you begin to seek challenges instead of avoiding them. You see them as opportunities to expand your skills and strengthen your character. You take criticism as constructive feedback rather than personal attacks. You become more resilient because your sense of worth isn't tied to getting everything right. It's tied to your willingness to keep trying. But shifting your focus to growth isn't just about how you view challenges. It's also about how you view yourself. It's acknowledging that you are not a finished product, and that's a good thing. It means accepting that you are a work in progress and giving yourself permission to evolve, improve, and become better than you were yesterday. It's also about aligning your actions with your growth. Setting goals that stretch you rather than goals that simply validate your existing skills. Taking risks, even when you feel uncertain. Embracing discomfort because you know it's part of the process. And most importantly, giving yourself grace along the way. When you focus on growth, you unlock a powerful form of confidence. It's not about feeling certain that you'll succeed. It's about knowing that no matter what happens, you'll find a way to learn from it and grow. And that's a strength nobody can take away from you. Practicing daily self-kindness is about building a compassionate relationship with yourself, one small act at a time. Too often we reserve kindness for others while treating ourselves with harshness and criticism. We forgive others for their mistakes but hold grudges against ourselves. We offer words of encouragement to friends but speak to ourselves with judgment and doubt. Self-kindness means flipping that script. It's about treating yourself with the same empathy, patience, and understanding you would offer to someone you deeply care about. It's acknowledging your humanity, embracing your imperfections, and recognizing that struggling or making mistakes doesn't make you a failure, it makes you real. The practice of self-kindness begins with awareness. You need to pay attention to the way you talk to yourself, especially when things go wrong. When you mess up, do you immediately criticize yourself or do you offer words of reassurance? When you feel overwhelmed, do you push yourself harder or do you allow yourself to take a break and recharge? Self-kindness means consciously choosing the gentler, more compassionate response. One of the simplest yet most powerful ways to practice daily self-kindness is through positive self-talk. Remind yourself of your strengths, your efforts, and your progress. When you catch yourself engaging in negative self-talk, challenge those thoughts and replace them with something more empowering. Instead of saying, "I'm such a failure," try saying, "I'm doing my best and I can learn from this." But self-kindness is more than just changing your thoughts. It's about taking tangible actions to support your own well-being. It's allowing yourself to rest when you're tired. It's nourishing your body with healthy food, movement, and sleep. It's creating boundaries that protect your energy and mental health. And it's also giving yourself permission to enjoy life, to pursue joy, and to do things simply because they make you feel good. Another critical aspect of self-kindness is forgiveness. Letting go of past mistakes and allowing yourself to move forward without constantly punishing yourself for what's already happened. It's giving yourself grace when you fall short of your own expectations. It's understanding that growth is a messy, non-linear process and that setbacks are part of the journey, not the end of it. Practicing self-kindness daily also means learning to appreciate the small wins. Celebrate your efforts, no matter how minor they may seem. Give yourself credit for showing up, for trying, for daring to put yourself out there. Recognize that even on your toughest days, you're still moving forward. And perhaps most importantly, self-kindness involves patience. It's allowing yourself to be a work in progress without judgment. It's giving yourself the freedom to make mistakes, learn from them, and try again. Because the goal isn't to be perfect, it's to be real. The beauty of daily self-kindness is that it builds resilience. When you nurture a compassionate relationship with yourself, you become stronger, more adaptable, and better equipped to handle whatever life throws your way. And over time, you start to realize that being kind to yourself isn't selfish, it's essential. It's the foundation that allows you to grow, thrive, and show up as your best self. Building inner resilience is about developing the mental and emotional strength to navigate life's challenges without losing yourself in the process. It's the ability to bounce back from adversity, adapt to changing circumstances, and keep moving forward even when the path feels impossible. And while resilience often seems like something people are just born with, the truth is it's a skill you can build and strengthen over time. At its core, resilience is rooted in your mindset. It's not about pretending everything is fine when it's not, or forcing yourself to be positive when you're struggling. It's about acknowledging your emotions, facing your challenges head on, and choosing to respond in ways that empower you rather than defeat you. It's the courage to feel your pain, process it, and then use it as fuel to keep going. One of the most important aspects of building resilience is learning to reframe setbacks. When something doesn't go your way, it's easy to fall into a spiral of self-blame and hopelessness. But resilience requires you to look at those experiences differently. Instead of seeing failures as proof of your inadequacy, you learn to see them as stepping stones, lessons that make you stronger, wiser, and more prepared for what lies ahead. Another key element of resilience is flexibility. Life rarely goes according to plan, and the ability to adapt is what keeps you moving forward when things fall apart. Being resilient means accepting that change is inevitable and choosing to flow with it rather than resist it. It's about finding new paths when the old ones are blocked and trusting yourself to navigate the unknown. Resilience is also about cultivating a deep sense of self-belief. It's understanding that your worth is not determined by your circumstances, your failures, or even your successes. It's recognizing that no matter what happens, you have the power to respond, to grow, and to rebuild. And that belief in yourself is what gives you the strength to persevere even when everything feels stacked against you. Another powerful way to build resilience is by developing healthy coping mechanisms. Whether it's journaling, meditation, exercise, or simply talking to someone you trust, finding ways to process your emotions and release stress is essential. It's about knowing when to rest and when to push forward, when to seek help, and when to trust your own instincts. Resilience also requires a strong sense of purpose. When you have a clear vision of what you're working toward, it becomes easier to keep going even when the journey gets tough. Purpose gives you something to hold on to, a reason to rise above the setbacks and keep fighting for what matters most to you. But perhaps the most powerful aspect of resilience is self-compassion. It's acknowledging that you don't have to be unbreakable to be resilient. It's giving yourself permission to feel pain, to struggle, and to heal. It's recognizing that resilience doesn't mean pushing yourself to the point of burnout. It means respecting your own limits, adjusting when needed, and giving yourself grace along the way. Building inner resilience is a lifelong practice. It's not about avoiding hardship, but learning how to respond to it in a way that leaves you stronger. And the more you practice resilience, the more you'll find that even the most difficult experiences can be transformed into opportunities for growth. Rewiring your mindset is about fundamentally changing the way you think, perceive, and respond to the world around you. It's about breaking free from the limiting beliefs and negative thought patterns that have been holding you back and replacing them with empowering, growth-oriented perspectives. This process doesn't happen overnight, but with intention and consistency, you can transform the way you experience life. Your mindset is the lens through which you interpret everything. It shapes your reactions to challenges, influences your confidence, and determines how you view yourself and your potential. If you constantly tell yourself that you're not good enough, that you're doomed to fail, or that success is only for other people, then you end up living a life that reflects those beliefs. But the powerful truth is, your mindset is not fixed. It's something you can rewire and reshape to serve you rather than sabotage you. Rewiring your mindset begins with awareness. You need to become conscious of the negative thought patterns that are holding you back. Are you constantly expecting the worst to happen? Do you talk yourself out of opportunities because you're afraid of failing? Do you criticize yourself for not being perfect instead of celebrating your progress? Identifying these patterns is the first step toward breaking them. Once you've identified the limiting beliefs, it's time to challenge them. Just because you've been telling yourself something for years doesn't mean it's true. Ask yourself, where did this belief come from? Is there actual evidence to support it, or have you been accepting it without question? More often than not, you'll find that those beliefs are nothing more than outdated stories you've been repeating to yourself. The next step is to replace those harmful beliefs with new, empowering ones. Instead of saying, I can't do this, try saying, I'm learning how to do this. Instead of believing, I'm not good enough, try, I am constantly growing and improving. It's not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about shifting your perspective toward growth, possibility, and resilience. Affirmations can be a powerful tool in rewiring your mindset. By consistently repeating positive, empowering statements, you can start to reshape the way you view yourself and your abilities. But affirmations alone aren't enough. You need to back them up with action. When you start to challenge your negative thoughts and replace them with healthier ones, you also need to take steps that reinforce those new beliefs. Visualization is another powerful technique. When you picture yourself succeeding, overcoming obstacles, and thriving, you're not just imagining a better future, you're training your brain to believe it's possible. Your mind can't always distinguish between what's real and what's vividly imagined, so when you consistently visualize positive outcomes, you begin to shift your mindset toward making them a reality. Rewiring your mindset also requires a commitment to gratitude. When you focus on what's going right in your life, rather than obsessing over what's going wrong, you create a mental environment that attracts more positivity. Gratitude trains your brain to look for solutions instead of problems, opportunities instead of obstacles. The process of rewiring your mindset isn't about ignoring reality or pretending life is easy. It's about choosing to respond to challenges in a way that empowers you instead of disempowering you. It's about building the habit of resilience and optimism even when circumstances aren't ideal. And most importantly, rewiring your mindset requires patience and persistence. You're essentially reprogramming your brain, and that takes time. But every time you choose to replace a negative thought with a positive one, every time you challenge your own doubts and fears, you're taking another step toward becoming the person you want to be. Letting go of comparison is about freeing yourself from the exhausting and harmful habit of measuring your worth against the lives, achievements, and appearances of others. It's about understanding that your value is not dependent on how you stack up against someone else's highlight reel. Instead, it's about embracing your unique journey and recognizing that you are enough exactly as you are. Comparison is a thief of joy. It's that nagging voice in your head that whispers, you're not doing enough, you're not talented enough, or you're not successful enough. It thrives in a world where we are constantly exposed to curated, polished images of other people's lives. Social media, for all its benefits, has intensified this issue, making it easier than ever to fall into the trap of thinking you're somehow behind, inadequate, or unworthy. But here's the truth: comparison is an illusion. It's built on the false assumption that life is a competition and that someone else's success diminishes your own. When you measure your progress against someone else's, you're using the wrong standard. You're judging yourself based on someone else's strengths, privileges, or even pure luck, rather than acknowledging your own unique path. Letting go of comparison starts with awareness. You need to catch yourself in the act of comparing and gently interrupt the pattern. When you feel that sting of envy or insecurity, ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? What am I really longing for? Often, comparison reveals something deeper, something you wish to improve or achieve in your own life. Instead of using comparison as a weapon against yourself, you can use it as a tool for self-reflection and growth. The next step is shifting your focus inward. Instead of constantly looking outward for validation or approval, start measuring your progress against your own goals and standards. Celebrate how far you've come, not just how far you have left to go. Reflect on your personal growth, your resilience, your kindness, and your determination. When you stop trying to meet someone else's definition of success, you give yourself the freedom to define it on your own terms. Letting go of comparison also means embracing your own uniqueness. You are not meant to be like anyone else. Your strengths, your experiences, your dreams, these are yours alone. They form a tapestry that no one else on this planet can replicate. And that uniqueness is your power. It's what makes your journey valuable and worth celebrating. Gratitude is another powerful tool in breaking free from comparison. When you focus on what you have rather than what you lack, you start to see your own life with fresh eyes. Gratitude shifts your perspective from scarcity to abundance. Instead of resenting someone else's success, you begin to appreciate the beauty of your own path. It's also essential to recognize that you are only ever seeing a fraction of someone else's life. People rarely broadcast their struggles, their insecurities, or their failures. What you're comparing yourself to is often a carefully curated image, not the full story. Understanding this can help you detach your worth from the comparison trap. Another important aspect of letting go of comparison is practicing self-compassion. When you catch yourself falling into the habit of comparison, don't beat yourself up for it. Instead, remind yourself that it's natural and human to feel this way. Then, gently guide your thoughts back to your own growth, progress, and journey. Surround yourself with inspiration, not competition. Seek out stories of resilience and personal growth, not just flashy achievements. Be inspired by others' successes without letting them diminish your own. When you view someone else's progress as evidence of what's possible rather than what you lack, you empower yourself to keep moving forward. Letting go of comparison isn't about pretending you never feel envious or inadequate. It's about recognizing those moments and choosing to turn them into opportunities for growth, gratitude, and self-acceptance. And when you master this, you find a freedom that allows you to focus on what truly matters: your own journey, your own joy, and your own growth. Creating a life aligned with your values is about building a life that feels true to who you are, not just what you think you're supposed to be. It's the difference between living according to society's expectations and living according to your own truth. When you align your actions, decisions, and goals with your core values, you build a life that feels meaningful, authentic, and deeply fulfilling. But what does it actually mean to live according to your values? It starts with clarity. You have to understand what truly matters to you. Not what you've been told should matter, but what genuinely resonates with your soul. This involves reflecting on your principles, your passions, your dreams, and even the things that frustrate you, because often your biggest frustrations reveal your deepest values. For example, if you feel a constant dissatisfaction with your work, it may be because your job conflicts with your value of creativity, autonomy, or impact. If you're struggling with your relationships, it could be because they're not aligned with your values of trust, communication, or mutual support. Identifying your values requires you to be brutally honest with yourself, even if that honesty feels uncomfortable. Once you have clarity about your values, the next step is integrating them into your life. This means using your values as a compass for your decisions. When faced with a choice, ask yourself, does this align with what truly matters to me? Is this moving me closer to the life I want to create or pulling me further away? Living in alignment with your values also requires courage. It often means making decisions that aren't popular, easy, or conventional. It means saying no to opportunities that look good on paper but don't feel right in your heart. It means letting go of relationships, habits, or environments that no longer serve your growth. It's about prioritizing authenticity over approval. When you align your life with your values, you begin to experience a deeper sense of fulfillment. Your actions start to feel meaningful because they are guided by what truly matters to you. You feel more at peace with yourself because you're not constantly trying to fit into someone else's mold. And most importantly, you feel empowered because you are living on your own terms. But alignment is not a one-time achievement. It's a continuous practice. As you grow and evolve, your values may shift. And that's okay. What matters is your commitment to regularly checking in with yourself, reassessing your priorities, and adjusting your path as needed. Creating a life aligned with your values also involves setting boundaries. It's about protecting your energy, your time, and your emotional well-being from anything that doesn't serve your highest good. This might mean distancing yourself from toxic relationships, stepping away from environments that drain you, or simply making more time for the things that genuinely bring you joy. Another crucial aspect of living in alignment with your values is setting goals that reflect your true desires, not just external expectations. Instead of pursuing what looks successful to others, you pursue what feels meaningful to you. Your goals become an expression of who you are, rather than a checklist of what you think you should accomplish. It's also about embracing your unique journey. Living authentically means acknowledging that your path won't look like anyone else's, and that's okay. It means finding peace with your own timing, your own pace, and your own version of success. When you create a life aligned with your values, you build a foundation of integrity and purpose that strengthens every aspect of your existence. You attract opportunities, relationships, and experiences that resonate with who you truly are, and most importantly, you gain a profound sense of inner peace because you're no longer living for anyone else's approval, you're living for your own truth.